Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Blacklogic. Today, we'll be going over the Carlee Russell investigation, or as I name it, Finessing America, the Carlee Russell Show. The alleged kidnapping of Carlee Russell, it was reported she had been abducted against her will, sparking a frantic search by law enforcement and concerned citizens. Now, news outlet quickly picked up the story and the case garnered national attention. Now, that was the first red flag for me because there are many of our black women that get kidnapped and go missing and put inside the drug trafficking ring as well as the sex trafficking ring. Now, Carlee Russell, she's between the age of 23 to 25, and law enforcement agencies sprang into action, launching a thorough investigation to Carlee Russell's disappearance. As days passed without any solid leads, speculation began to emerge. Some theorized that the kidnapping might have been staged for personal gain or attention, while others believe there could have been darker motives at play. The question that lingers in everyone's mind, your mind, my mind, why would Carlee Russell fake her kidnapping? Possible motives include seeking attention, evading personal problems, or even trying to implicate someone falsely or trying to get somebody on the trick bag. Now, additionally, individuals close to Carlee may have come under suspicion as potential suspects. Now, filing a false police report, especially regarding a serious crime like kidnapping, carries severe consequences. If proven the abduction was indeed staged, Carlee Russell could face criminal charges, which it seems though is leaning to, including making false statements to law enforcement. These charges could result in significant penalties, including fines and potential jail time. Now, the community's reaction to the alleged kidnapping was initially one of the shock and concern, because as news spread, rallies and villages were organized in support of Carlee Russell's safe return. However, as the case started to unfold, as doubts about the authenticity of the incident arose, public sentiment became divided, leading to heated debates online and offline. Now, of course, the media played a crucial role in disseminating information about the case. However, the incident speculation may have impacted the investigation negatively. Sensationalizing reporting can lead to biased perception and hinders the search for the truth. Social media platforms became breeding grounds for discussions and theories about Carlee Russell's alleged fake kidnapping, while it provided a platform for public discourse. It also fueled misinformation and rumors, complicating the case even further. To understand why someone might resort to staging such an incident, Justice Smollett, it's essential to explore the psychological aspects. Motives could range from seeking attention to experiencing emotional distress. A psychological evaluation may help shed light on the complexities behind this type of behavior. Now, history has witnessed other instances of individuals faking their abductions. By examining past cases, investigators and the public can gain insight into patterns, methods, and the impact of such actions. But this particular case with Carlee Russell, this is the finesse of America that may not only look bad on black women, but black people alike. We have to understand that the dominant society does not see black people as individual. They speak to us, they see us as a monolith. So one thing that one of our people that garners national attention will and may affect us all. I know, a contradiction, but nonetheless, I'm more leaning to it will affect us in some sort of way, especially in remembrance of the Jussie Smollett case. We have to analyze this particular investigation with the remembrance of what Jussie Bussy Smollett has done. So what you're about to see is allegedly Carlee Russell's car as she is witnessing a male toddler in Pampers on the side of the highway. This highway is I-459, and this is the highway camera. Now, as you notice, she is slowly along the shoulder with her hazardous lights on. For quite some time here, people are roughly stating this is around 600 yards. If you can see in the dark, pitch dark at night, even with your lights, 600 yards in front of you. Now, that's 6 football fields, okay? That is 6 football fields. And you can see that far away. That already raises suspicions about what you actually saw. As this case unfolds, you're going to start to pick apart certain discrepancies within her story. Now, from this cam, which doesn't have high resolution, I don't see a child or any other person within the vicinity. There is no 18-wheeler that has pulled over. There is no other people in sight. And One of the biggest indicators here is that no other vehicle has pulled over. Now we're about to listen to the 911 call when Carlee Russell called into the Alabama police station. And I want you to listen very attentively for any indicators that she could be telling the truth or she could be planning her alleged fake kidnapping.
Hi, I am on Interstate 459, and there is a kid just walking by themselves.
Oh, hold on. Where on 49 are you?
I'm right next to the exit 10 by the River Med, like to get off by the River Med.
Okay, so you're before.
Now, there's one thing I want to point out here as we're all listening to this. She is very calm. She's not frantic. She doesn't seem under duress of any sort. So if I just found a toddler on the side of the highway, I would think there would be a lot more stress within her voice, a lot more energy. Now, language is everything. So that's why I'm having you to listen very attentively.
Where that exit?
Yes.
Okay, and were you headed southbound or northbound? Like towards Tuscaloosa or towards 280?
Towards Tuscaloosa.
Okay, and was the child on the left or right side?
On the right side.
Were they walking northbound or southbound?
They're walking towards Tuscaloosa.
Walking southbound? Or how old do they look?
Like a toddler, like maybe like 3 or 4.
Did you pull over with them? Are you still with them?
Yes.
Okay, are you with the child right now?
No, I'm not. I didn't get out of the car. I can see them though.
Do you mind staying and keeping an eye on them until we get there?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, what kind of car are you in?
I'm in a red Mercedes-Benz.
Is that a sedan or SUV?
SUV. I mean, it's a sedan. Sorry.
Can you put your hazards on for me?
Yeah, they're on.
Okay. Did you talk to the child at all, or did you say anything to them?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do they look like they're injured?
No, they don't.
Are they white, black, Hispanic, or Asian?
Now, I have a couple of questions here. You see a toddler on the side of the road. You don't see any parents within the vicinity. Now, I can understand you being a female. It's very dark at night on the side of a highway, a very busy highway, and you're not willing to jump out your vehicle but keeping eyes on the toddler. But I would like to believe if you pulled over, most people would have got outside of their vehicle and secured the child and stayed in place to see if somebody would come up and claim the child, and as you did, call the police to see if anyone else. More times than not, some people would have just pulled over, asked a child to come to the vehicle and not got outside of their car in fear of their own safety to make sure this is not some sort of trap. Because why would a toddler be walking around at night beside a very busy highway with no one in sight of this potential toddler? Because even people who give up their children, even people who no longer want their children, give their children to the fire department, give their children to the police department, they have ways about going away, giving away their children because they no longer want to have them anymore, or they no longer can take care of them. So as we analyze this even more, it's becoming more and more suspicious of her potential kidnapping or the alleged make-believe of her kidnapping.
They're white.
Okay. Is it male or female?
I think it's a boy, a little boy.
Right now? Okay. So is he wearing clothes?
Yes.
Okay. What is he wearing?
It's a white t-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper.
And you don't see any cars anywhere?
No cars anywhere.
Okay. All right. What's your name?
My name is Carlee Russell.
What is the cameraman doing?
And you don't see any injuries on the child from where you're at, correct?
No, but I can't really see them that good.
Okay. Try to keep an eye on them for the best that you can, because I don't want you to lose track of them.
Okay.
All right. And do they have shoes on?
No.
Shoes?
Not that I can see. I can't really see that well.
Okay. All right. I've got them on the way, okay? Just try to keep an eye on them, but officers are on the way, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Now we're about to hear a representative from the Hoover Police Department on the case. And I want you guys to listen very carefully as he starts to unravel and tell the story within the investigation about Carlee Russell potential kidnapping. And I want you to hear his condescending tone that after reviewing the tape and gathering up information, initially they already thought that this was an alleged fake kidnapping from the very start. And as they gathered more information, as people started to go out and look for her through the woods, things of that nature, yeah, there was certain evidence that was left, but things wasn't adding up as though it should in a real kidnapping.
Carlee's 911 call remains the only report of a child on the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through the area at that time.
Correct.
No one has called to report that a child is missing, and the Hoover Police Department did not locate any evidence of a small child walking down the interstate.
So first, there's no evidence that a small child has been missing, and then secondly, the hundreds of people that was traveling along that highway, no one saw this potential toddler.
Interstate. Data from Carlee's phone, including her Life 360 app, shows that she traveled approximately 600 yards in her vehicle while she was on the phone with 911, stating that she was following a child. 600 yards. Hoover 911 Center received a second call from Carlee's mother, stating that a relative was on the phone with her when they heard Carlee scream, and then they had an open phone line. Hoover police officers arrived on the scene within 5 minutes of being dispatched, and several other officers arrived shortly. They located Carlee's wig and cell phone in the grass near the vehicle. Her purse was located in the front seat of her vehicle with her Apple Watch in the purse. The food she ordered for Tzatziki's was also in the car. The items she purchased from Target, as well as the items taken from her place of employment, were not in the vehicle, nor were they located anywhere around the scene.
During this press conference, he was laying out all the resources that was used to try to investigate this potential kidnapping, to track her down, to follow the steps in which someone has taken her. It's stated in a police report, as he states here, that she was abducted and put inside of an 18-wheeler. Now, here are a couple of questions for you. Where was the 18-wheeler located? You stated that they grabbed you and pulled you inside of the woods. Where inside of the woods was the 18-wheeler located? Was it another highway that was adjacent to I-495? Potentially, how far did they make you trek through the woods in order to get to this 18-wheeler? Because here's the thing, family. A lot of these interstate and highways have cameras, and I'm pretty sure if there's an adjacent highway, it has a camera somewhere to depict any sort of 18-wheeler within that area that can be the potential vehicle that they abducted Carlee Russell and put inside. And here's part of it you're not going to hear. They didn't see that. They have cameras everywhere. Did you know that America is one of the top 3 countries with the most CCTV cameras? That means traffic cameras. That means cameras within city confounds, cameras attached to traffic lights, and of course in other places, whether it be on businesses, your own home, commercial properties, etc. So we have cameras everywhere in America. We're one of the top 3 countries with the most CCTV cameras, and we have them on our highways as well. And during the investigation, they haven't seen any adjacent 18-wheelers that she could possibly be abducted and kidnapped in.
At 10:44 p.m. on July 15th, the Hoover 911 Center receives a call from Carlee's residence stating that she returned home on foot. Detectives obtained surveillance footage of Carlee walking down the sidewalk alone prior to arrival at her residence. She was conscious and speaking with paramedics when she was transported to UAB. Detectives were able to obtain a brief statement from her prior to being treated and released. During the statement, she told detectives that while traveling down the interstate, she saw a baby walking down the side of the road and called 911. She stated when she got out of her vehicle to check on the child, a man came out of the trees and mumbled that he was checking on the baby. She claimed that the man then picked her up and she screamed. She stated he then made her go over a fence. She claims he then forced her into a car, and the next thing she remembers is being in the trail.
Okay, another red flag here, family. I don't know if you saw pictures of Carlee Russell, but if you look her up, she's not a very heavy woman, but she's not a very skinny woman. So whatever man came out of the woods and picked her up must have been very, very strong.
Trailer of an 18-wheeler. She stated that the male was with a female. However, she never saw the female, only hearing her voice. She also told detectives she could hear a baby crying. She told detectives the male had orange hair with a big bald spot on the back. She said she was able to escape.
She stated that the man that abducted her had orange hair, and I'm still trying to figure out, other than Donald Trump, was this a clown?
18-wheeler and fled on foot, only to be captured again and then was put in a car. She claims she was then blindfolded but was not tied up because the captor said they did not want to leave.
Okay, wait. You mean to tell me that someone is kidnapping you, someone's abducting you, and they blindfold you, but they do not bind your hands and feet so you don't have the potential of running away?
Impressions on her wrists. She said that they took her into a house and made her get undressed. She believes they took pictures of her, but she does not remember them having any physical or sexual contact. She stated the next day she woke up and was fed cheese crackers by the female.
Oh my God!
She said the woman also played with her hair, but could not remember anything else.
A man with orange hair with a bald spot picks you up, treks through the woods, puts you inside of an 18-wheeler where the toddler is now there and the lady is now there with her. Who picked up the toddler then? Who got the toddler? Because you never saw the lady. So now that you're inside of the 18-wheeler, that is when they blindfold you. So if the man picked you up and carried you, and now you're trekking through the woods to wherever this so-called allegedly 18-wheeler is located, you mean to tell me that this lady that you never saw, but you heard her voice, came and got the toddler?
Oh, hell no.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And first and foremost, family, I am happy that she's back with her family. This investigation is revealing a lot of footholds within her story. Of course, a lot of people within Black America was showing support, and those people within that Alabama area was out doing vigils as well as searching for Carlee Russell. So I'm calling this a fake kidnapping because everything within this investigation, what we know so far, seems to be 1,000% made up.
She was put back in a vehicle she claims was able to escape while it was in the West Hoover area. She told detectives she ran through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. During this interview, detectives noted that Carlee had a small injury to her lip, and she claimed that her head was hurting. She also had a tear on her shirt. Detectives also noted that she had $107 cash in her right.
There was a white male and white female that made you undress, and they took photos of you. For whatever reason, you can't remember if they sexually assaulted you. You can't remember if they raped you. You can't remember if they violated you in any sort of way. Did they give you Rohypnol? Did they give you some sort of date rape drug? Did they shoot you with a needle? Like, what occurred in order for you to have a memory lapse or memory loss? Now, I know a lot of people within the psychology realm is going to state during tragic events, there's parts of it that some victims cannot recall because of the trauma. But again, as we unravel this story, we're seeing more and more red flags of the potential of this being a fake kidnapping.
Detectives continue analyzing data from Carlee's cell phone that was left behind at the scene. We enlisted the help of the United States Secret Service in conducting this analysis. Part of what data included several internet searches in the days leading up to her disappearance.
Okay, family.
That I think are relevant.
This is very important, this next segment. If you just tuning in, this is the most important part of this entire investigation of her Google searches. It's very important that you know that every search that you make, Microsoft, Bing, Google search, all of these search engines, did you know that the U.S. government has the ability to recall that information of everything you looked up? So it don't matter what you're looking up, doesn't matter what you're trying to hide. If something occurs where they need that information, trust and believe they can get that information regardless of your constitutional rights.
Very relevant to this case. On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term "you have to pay for an Amber Alert" was searched.
Oh my God!
On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term "how to take money from a register without being caught" was searched.
Oh my God!
On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term "Birmingham Bus Station" was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th. On July 13th at 12:10 p.m., a search for the movie Taken A film about abduction.
Okay.
Was
Now, if you haven't heard anything until now, you must know all of these Google searches happening in the time frame of her being kidnapped. From the very beginning and during the kidnapping, she is making searches like the movie Taken, so she can probably review it to see how they've done it within the movie. She's also researched bus stops where she looks as though she may be traveling from one point to another, so she's outside of the vicinity of her normal area. And then the major one that he started off with was the Amber Alert. Do you have to pay for Amber Alerts? Meaning that her parents may have to pay for an Amber Alert, I'm thinking, or does it cost the city money to put an Amber Alert into play? I just don't know. But all of these are not red flags, okay? This is a red sky. If you haven't heard anything else, you know and I know there's no potential way. Now, there's a really small, very small chance that this is true, that this alleged kidnapping is true. But I'm going to call it a con. I'm going to call it a finesse because this is exactly what it is to me. In my opinion, with my own bias and my own conjecture, this is a finesse. I don't know what she was trying to get out of this, but as you heard my earlier commentary, maybe those are some of the results she was looking for.
There were 2 searches related to Amber Alerts on a computer at Carlee's place of employment, including one regarding the maximum age of an Amber Alert. There were other searches on Carlee's phone that appeared to shed some light on her mindset, but out of respect for her privacy, we will not be releasing the content of those searches at this time. We've asked to interview Carlee a second time, but have not been granted that request.
Of course
As you
not.
can see, there are many questions left to be answered,
is a lot of
but only
questions.
Carlee can provide those answers. What we can say is that we've been unable to verify most of Carlee's initial statement made to investigators.
Wow. I'm not going to degrade or demean this young black lady, but this is probably one of the most stupidest things that you can ever do. And she definitely was alive during the whole Jussie Smollett incident, because if you didn't learn anything from that, when you go missing and these people go through the evidence, they go through with a fine-tooth comb. In the system of white supremacy, the one thing they're good at is finding people, okay? Finding people who they want to find. Majority of the time, if you are dead, they're not going to find you, right? Because maybe you're buried, maybe someone cremated you, maybe someone tied some bricks around your foot and had you to sink into an ocean, or whatever the case may be. But if they want to find you, believe me, family, this government can find you because they reached out to Secret Service and the FBI. So they had the full resources of the most powerful country in the world at their disposal. So right then and there, she was already in trouble with this alleged fake kidnapping. Now, the rest of the interview is just the news reporting asking the chief of police here at the Hoover Police Department questions about it. And even during this questioning, he was giving off the information and energy that he did not believe not one iota of Carlee Russell's story that they found or did not find during this investigation. Now, we're going to just briefly run down some of these. We won't tally here too long, but there's some key things I want you guys to remember about this case. There was a toddler in diaper, and there was a man that came out the wood with orange hair with a bald spot. They was on I-495, and they pulled her into an 18-wheeler. As I stated before, where was the 18-wheeler located? Was it on I-459? Was it trekking through the woods, maybe an acre or two or a mile or two away? Because he said he picked you up. How big was this guy? How strong was this guy to pick you up? She escaped the truck but was captured again and put into a car. So was the woman in the car? Because the man was in the truck in the 18-wheeler, was he not? Because he put you in the truck. So who caught you? Was the male or the female? There are so many questions that the police is going to ask her, and they're going to end up locking her ass up. That's what I'm telling you right now, family, because first is an 18-wheeler, and now there's a car. Was the 18-wheeler stashed inside of the woods? Was it on blocks? Was it mobile? Was it working? Did you hear the engine running? Then you put into a car. Who was in the car? Who was driving? Was the lady driving? Did the man capture you and put you into the car? Or did a woman capture you and put you into the car and the man was driving? We need to know because we're trying to figure out some of the facts of the case so we can go out and apprehend these villains. Here they stated that she was blindfolded. She was not bound because she said they didn't want to leave impressions on her wrist. What kidnapper ever said that ever in the entire world, that we don't want to bind your wrists and ankles because we don't want to leave impressions on you? if you're kidnapping me and I'm gone for days, weeks, months, and years, does it really matter to leave impressions? That is because I call bullshit once again. She does not remember them having any physical or sexual contact with her. Do you remember that the man picked you up and carried you to the 18-wheeler? That's physical contact. They made you undress. I can understand no sexual contact there, but you don't remember. Again, you remember events prior to you arriving at this location and them having you to unclothe in order to take pictures of you. Then she stated the next day she woke up and she was fed cheese crackers by the female. Out of all things, she fed you cheese crackers? Okay. She told detectives that she ran through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. So evidently these so-called woods she was running through, she was familiar with. Now, I don't know too many black people, and this is just me. I'm not from the country. I'm from DC. I'm from the city. We don't just run through the woods. First of all, you're in a location that you're not familiar with. I don't know if she stated that. Again, the police is going to question her, thoroughly question every single detail of this case. Anything that I can think of, they're going to question. Anything that you can think of, they're going to question. And anything that can possibly be questioned, they're going to question her. Were you familiar with your surroundings? How did you know the woods so good that you popped up at your home? Was it haphazard? Because again, what are the chances? What are the chances of all these events happening as though she said it happened? And then these small lapses in memory throughout this. Now, secondly, she stated she had roughly $107, $130 in her sock. What kidnappers you know makes you unclothe yourselves and can't see $107 inside your sock? Maybe she had a $100 bill, a $5 bill, and a $2 bill. Maybe she had a $100 bill and a $10 bill. Maybe she had a $100 bill and $7 bills. I just don't know. But what kidnapper is letting you go away with $100-some? It states here, we have asked to interview Carlee a second time, but have not been granted that request, the chief said. As you can see, there are many questions left to be answered, but only Carlee can provide those answers. That is because the police know that this was all made up. Here are other details from the case. The night she vanished, surveillance video from Spa where she worked showed that Russell concealed a dark colored bathrobe, a roll of toilet paper, and other items belonging to the business prior to her departure. Russell then ordered food from Tzatziki's at the Colin date, and after picking that up, went to Target on US 280 where she purchased granola bars, cheeses, and a drink. So did the lady go inside your vehicle and take the cheeses that you already bought and then fed you those same cheeses the very next morning?
Oh my God!
This is too damn funny. This is what you call if faking the kidnapping was funny, because this is all over the place, family. And then 2 days before she was kidnapped, she Google searched, do you have to pay for an Amber Alert? How to take money from register without getting caught? Birmingham bus station. These are some of the things 2 days prior to her disappearance that she actually Google searched. Now, family, as I told you before, this is not just a red flag. This is a red sea. This is a red sky. This is screaming all sorts of false statements made to the police. This is alleged kidnapping. This is falsifying official statements to the police. I don't know what charges she's going to be charged with, but family, she's in a whole heap of trouble, because here's what this young lady don't understand. If I go back to the previous section here, is one thing, again, family, I keep telling you, it states here, the night she vanished, surveillance video from the spa where she worked showed that Russell concealed a dark-colored bathrobe. Again, there's cameras everywhere, and you think you're going to get away with falsifying information to the police, faking your kidnapping, faking being sexually assaulted or physically assaulted. I'm telling you right now, out in public is not the place to do it. And then the Google searches. You mean to tell me you didn't use incognito mode by Google? You didn't use the search engine Brave? You didn't use all these other websites that hide your traffic and hide what you're actually searching? Again, I am not trying to condone people to do the wrong thing by making false police reports, because this right here is not just bad for Carlee Russell. It's not just bad for black women, but it is bad for black people in general, because within a 3 to 5 timeline, we have already had 2 black people to falsify statements to the police of actions that potentially occurred that in actuality has not. Even though this hasn't been proven to be fake, but family, once again, I'm gonna tell you, this was all curated and acted out by Carlee Russell. The next, it states here that Russell drove the length of 6 football fields. Data from Russell's phone, including her Life 360 app, showed that she traveled approximately 600 yards in her car while she was on the phone with 911. So when you saw this potential video, she was already on the phone with police officers reporting this alleged toddler being on the side of the highway. And as you notice, she's continuing to go. And I'm looking at the lights. There is no toddler in sight. You see the overshadowing of the light on the right-hand side? There's no toddler there. And then they zoomed in here. There's still no toddler. And there's light shining of cars prior to her reaching that potential point. She then stops. There was no toddler in sight. Believe me, police officials went over this with a fine-tooth comb, and of course, many assistance from AI, Secret Service, as well as the FBI. So the only baby I believe she saw is the baby. See, events like this highlight the importance of honesty and integrity in reporting crimes. Falsifying claims undermines public trust in law enforcement, and it also undermines public trust in law. It's essential to prioritize and to perpetuate skepticism towards real victims making true claims. Now, in this potential case of Carlee Russell's alleged fake kidnapping, we understand it has sparked widespread discussions and debates. While the truth behind the incident remains very uncertain, not to me, that's what some people are going to say, of course, we have one of the highest reports of black women gone missing. And this is only going to perpetuate a stereotype and create a stereotype that a lot of these so-called black women gone missing is false, made up, and curated by those who are supposedly kidnapped and her family and friends that assisted her in this crime.